I found this book it was interesting because this is something that personally this book interests me. I want to apply those things that were in this book into life to make my work on this community more efficient and have some kind of system to build the audience and build engaged audience over time. On the other hand, yes, this book was to some extent boring. I found those examples not super engaging. So compare this book to the previous one that I read, Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. So the Gladwell book was very engaging and I found it very easy to read. This one I need to push myself with reading, even if this topic was more relevant to me right now. And I don't think many people will join, so let me start talking about this book more precisely. So it was written by Pat Flynn. Pat Flynn is an entrepreneur. He was an architect, and at some point he switched to create content online for architects, and that's the way how he start earning money. And then over time he was doing podcast and have this idea of superfans that he read in the article by Kevin Kelly. So Kevin Kelly was first the person who wrote about having 1,000 true fans that could be the base for you to earn money online and have a decent life. So you don't need to have 1 million followers, 1 million fans like some rock stars, etc. You can have only 1,000 true fans that pay for everything you are creating, and you can earn enough money to live this way. So Kevin Kelly and his blog article, I think 1,000 fans was the first one. Then he wrote the book, but also Pat Flynn wrote his own book that we will be discussing today about superfans. So I think I already explained why those super fans are necessary. So those people that are at the top of the pyramid of fans are people who buy our stuff, they are supporting us, they help you with our business. And there is a pyramid of fans going from the casual audience, active audience, connected audience up to super fans, and there is like smaller and smaller number of people in each of the category. And I will go through this pyramid, but maybe let me start with the question if any of you are creating some kind of business or something similar and you would like to have an audience that would be considered as fans. So do you have some kind of plans to have something like that? Because I already told you that I have this community, so I have this in mind. But it would be interesting to know if any of you have something similar in mind.
Well, as you may know, I do. And probably for the small scale services, it would be also good to have this kind of um, intense but small group of fans that would be more sustainable and better than trying to have very high reach.
Mhm. Okay, thanks. Yes, yes. So, like this book is about cultivating connection with fans. So, yes, we don't need a lot of people. We can have a smaller number of people that can support us and pay money to us.
Yeah, I'm also planning on starting a movement, but in my case, it's less of a product and less requiring money or funding. Just people who would support the ideas they want to promote.
So yes, actually, this would also apply to
Mm.
this book. Although obviously in this book, and it was written with the goal for the entrepreneurs, so people who are having some kind of online business or any kind of business, and fans are paying for this. But obviously, with the movement, actually the same would apply. So, I mean, I don't see anything that would mm, make a difference between having goal of building some kind of movement versus having a goal of earning money. So these are very similar things. Maybe there are some differences we will see when I will go through all of those points, all of those methods to go through the audience that is not engaged to the audience that is super engaged. Pavel and Oliver, do you plan something like that?
No, I didn't plan anything like that, to be honest.
Okay, okay. Okay, so let me proceed. But actually, there is also a second question because we can view this book from the side that we are creating something and we want fans and super fans, but we also can view it from the point of view of the fan, of somebody else, and consider if we are super fans or like very in the top rank of the audience of somebody or some organizations. So maybe you are super fans of somebody. But yes, in order to know it, I need to talk about those stages first because you didn't read the book. So casual audience is just people who encountered us for the first time. They have no feeling whatsoever toward us or our products. They just by accident or in any way encountered something related to what we are doing, and they can just go in and drop immediately, or they can stay. So this is casual audience. These are not fans. This is just the audience. Could be equivalent to the traffic. So the higher traffic, the higher number of casual audience. Obviously, casual audience don't won't pay our product, so we need to do something in order to move them to active audience. Active audience is a higher rank when people in those audience is doing something. For example, they are subscribing our channel or just checking us on social media, following us on social media, something like that. And from time to time, they are checking something related to us. So they are to some extent active, but they are not engaged. They are just checking something, but they are very passive in their behavior. So this is what makes it different for the connected audience that differs from the active audience. That connected audience is already to some kind of way engaged. So, for example, we are posting something in social media and they are writing something, they are doing something, they are reading, they are engaging, they are liking. They can buy some products, our products. They can be willing to meet with us. They can be willing to talk to us. So yes, they are more engaged. And super fans is like the extreme version of the connected audience. They are buying everything. They are like our close friends, buying everything, watching everything. Mm, Maybe even to some extent they are obsessed at this kind of specific product of what we are doing. So this is why those super fans are great because they are buying everything and they are supporting us in everything. They are defending us when this is necessary, when there are some haters, uh, and everything. So I explained you those levels: casual audience, active audience, connected audience, and super fans. And I am wondering if any of you think that they are super fans of somebody or something. Like, I don't know, some movie. In the book, there was, for example, super fans mentioned of Lego, Lego, Lego pieces or some rock bands or some specific type of products like Patt Flynn, this author of the book, that he was creating podcasts. Some people were watching or listening to those podcasts. So does any of you think that they are super fans of anything? I was thinking about this, and I have to say that at least right now, I am not huge super fan of anything right now, but in the past I was huge super fan of everything what Tolkien was writing. So I bought all of his books long time ago, and watching all of those movies, etc. So I was a huge fan of his writings. I know the whole universe. Any of you could share something? Do you want to share something?
Hmm. I don't remember what it was in the past, but currently I would say that probably that books and YouTube channels of Karolina Borczyca-Braszczewska, and I think that that would be probably the closest to being a super fan, because I comment quite often and I really engage and I really think those things that she is recording and writing, co-writing actually, are valuable.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so I used to be a super fan of Christopher Nolan's works back when I was a filmmaker, and you know, and now, right? Actually, what I find myself really interested
Mm-hmm.
in listening to are these YouTube videos that are created by AI.
AI.
So I don't exactly know who the author is, but I like the content.
Mhm.
So the content discusses masculinity versus femininity and all this stuff, right? Which I'm quite intrigued by,
Mhm.
but I don't know, or at least I don't remember uh, who the content creator is because they never show their faces. It's all um, AI cartoon like uh, images.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
there's that.
watching everything of this AI generated content, but I guess somebody stands. I mean, there is some idea behind those.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Okay, okay. Okay, so yes, you get it. If anybody else wants to jump in, then you can. If not, then I will go through I mean, the steps that are required to construct, to level up from the casual audience up to super fans. So those are different methods one can use in order to achieve it. Obviously, not all of them has to be used. Sometimes some of them can be skipped. Some all of them can be very beneficial. Some of them can be more fit to us as a creators, and some else method could be more fit for other people. So yeah, there are always preferences. Maybe before jumping in, I recall that in this book he was talking about three types of people, and he got this idea of three types of people that are doing something in life. He got this from another book of Malcolm Gladwell. So Malcolm Gladwell was the author of the book that we talked to 1 week ago, but he also wrote different books about this particular book. I don't remember the correct name of it, but it was about that small change can lead to big impact in the future. And in this book, it was mentioned three types of people: mavens, networkers, and if I remember correctly, sellers. So there are three type of people: people who have the ideas and spread those ideas, people who are good at networking, so talking with people and joining them, and there is the third type of people who are sellers, so they are very good at selling stuff. And the super fans is mostly about being the good connector, being good networker. So in order to use this method, we need to enhance this networking skills to a higher level, even if we don't naturally possess these abilities. Yes, so those methods are in order to improve our networking skills. And to some extent, this also could be used as a social skills tool. So in the past, in back discussions, I discussed many books related to social skills. And actually, this book also could be used to improving our social skills, constructing our social circle, although it was not obviously the purpose of Superfans book, but it could be utilized this way. So I will go through transforming from casual audience to active audience actions. So there are certain actions we can do to move casual audience. So people who are not engaged at all, they randomly went to some of our content, to active audience that can, for example, subscribe or buy on purpose some product or follow us, so they can be at least a little active. So he wrote several ideas, several methods how we can convert those audiences to a higher level. First is about learning what kind of words audience uses. So the thing we are doing as entrepreneurs, as content creators, we typically we want to address some problems that the audience have. So this content or product needs to solve some kind of problem. So the audience will be willing to spend time on this product or will be willing to pay money for this product. And the way how audience is talking about the problem they have is important to understand, because if we are talking in a different way than the audience is talking, they will never be interested in our products just because the incorrect usage of words. So, for example, if somebody wants to create a product to make people fit, then he needs to listen just the way how people are talking about those issues. If they are talking that they want to be fit, or they want to lose weight, or they want to be healthy, or they want to have muscles. So the correct understanding of proper wording is very important to catch attention of people. Mm, So he provided three types of way to discover how what kind of words those audience is using. First is just reviewing the internet, checking videos for people who are talking about the problem, and just listening to them and understand what kind of words they are using. The other way is just posting something with some kind of question. What was the most difficult thing in some kind of domain of the problem, and those people respond, and the way how they respond can provide a clue to us how we should phrase the problem. And the third one is interviews with the audience. So we just ask somebody who have this problem to have a one-on-one discussion, either online or offline. So that's the first method. For me personally, I am still struggling with this. I still don't know what kind of wording to use. And this is mostly because because there was an evolution of what I plan to do in this community, and because of that, I didn't even have a goal. So it's even difficult for me to talk about problems of other people because of that. But for me, this is something that I will need to utilize in the future. Mm. Somebody of you have some kind of ideas or comments about this? Or you already discovered the way how people are using, what kind of words they are using in the problems you want to solve or the thing that you want to do?
In my case, I have two audiences. One is grown-ups and one is children. So it's not so obvious how to construct the communicate. And I think I'm not putting enough attention to it. I think if I would, for instance, ask explicitly children to record the meetings and explicitly parents to record the conversations with them to improve the service, let's say, then I could have spotted some common patterns. But unless I do that, I think I have a tendency to use my own words in some cases.
Yes, I mean, in your case, probably interviews with parents of those children would be the best. I don't know if reviewing the internet would, maybe there are some places where this kind of things you are doing are discussed, but I don't know. Yeah.
Thanks.
Anybody else want to say something, or I will go to the next point? So let me go to the next point. The next point of next method of converting from the casual audience to active audience is sharing something about yourself. So it's just about being more personal in the content creation. So we don't only talk about our problems, but we share something about ourselves. And this is with the purpose of finding the things we have the common in the audience. So this is kind of like a talk between in the social situation. So we start talking with somebody else, and if we find something in common, it's easier for us to keep the conversation going, exchange contact, etc. So something like that also can happen when we talk about business or something like that. So we are talking to the audience and we are sharing some stuff with them, and they can find something we have in common. So I remember from this book that the author was meeting in some conference somebody, and they were like both having children, and the fact that one person mentioned that they have children and the other person agreed, this creates this connection between them. And something like that can be utilized also in to to move from a casual audience to active audience. So just by sharing something about us, being more vulnerable to some extent, talking about ourselves can also increase the probability that we have connection with the audience. So this is also another important thing. I also think this is something I could improve because typically I am very technical, very abstract, so I don't share many details about myself. But I could intentionally do it and check what will be the difference, what will be the output of those actions. And I also notice that many content creators that are successful, they frequently share their stories. When they are honest and we are talking about something very personal, then more people are eager to stay with them. Mm. Oh, obviously, I remember that when people are talking about the story of their life, and this is somehow related to the problem, related to the problem that this product is created, then it obviously increases the chance that the audience will be more engaged and more willing to stay with the author of the product. Any of you have problems with sharing details about yourself? Or you are good at doing this?
Actually, I got an advice from someone who definitely has superfans not to do that. So it's interesting counterpoint. And also yesterday, I was just listening about how to do that, but in the private sphere, like how to open up more in the last chapter of How to Be Enough. There was an interesting build up towards sharing more. So I am a little bit puzzled when it comes to this point, because I assume that in some cases it might be very valuable. And I know, for instance, Ilona Celina, who is having the Instagram, and I know that these shared things are greatly enhancing the value of her art, because she is an illustrator. And she even mentions it in her ebook that this is the act of value creation. And if people would wanted to buy pretty pictures, they would just go to IKEA or TG Maxx, and that's it. And this personal input and the meaning of the picture actually is a big part of the price tag. So I know cases in which it worked. I know cases in which it doesn't work, or maybe it could work if someone would do that. Maybe the author is right. Maybe he is not. Maybe the examples I am describing are not enough, not big enough statistical, let's say, amount to draw conclusions.
Okay, so like in this book, he was, I mean, this chapter, if I remember correctly, was breaking the ice. So we just need to share something about ourselves to make some kind of connection between people, like in the social situation. So if we don't share anything from our side, then there is no connection possible with those, the second person. So it works the same way with the audience, but obviously the size, how m- many informations, how much information we can share is obviously to us. So obviously we don't have to share super too much obviously.
Okay, with this explanation, that makes sense.
Anybody else have something to say about this? Sharing something about yourself?
Yeah, you know what? Because I read the book, right? So in this case, the author was saying that he shared with someone random that he had two kids, which I don't think was the point of his mission or his book or the events that he participated in. And I thought that wasn't a very strong example, right? Because usually we want to share something about ourselves that is vulnerable enough to let our audience who shares the same pain point to be able to empathize or actually know that there's someone out there who's empathizing with them.
Mhm.
And the example that the author used, I just didn't feel like it was the most helpful.
Okay. The way how
Yeah.
I understand it was that we don't have to even share things that are related to the product that we are selling. We just can share anything, and this just builds the connection. So just other people like us more because we share those things, and they are more prone to stay with us, even if this particular method is not strictly related to some kind of product or the problem uh, that as a creators we are going to solve. That was my understanding
Okay.
of this chapter, yeah. So this is just
Uh,
to enhance.
yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay, let me move to the third item. Quite easy, give value quickly. So in order for the audience to stay with us, we need to solve some kind of problem of them, whatever this problem is. And the quicker we are able to provide some problem, I mean help them solving some problem, the higher probability is that they will stay with us. I mean, this is something rather self-explanatory that if we are selling something, then we need to solve some problem. And if we really solve the problem, we solve this problem quickly, then it just will happen that those audience will stay with us. Mm, this could be some kind of free ebook that we are sending if they subscribe to some channel or this kind of stuff. So having something for free, giving it something for free, so-called lead magnet, is a way to providing value to the audience very quickly. Obviously, this thing that we are sharing needs to be valuable, really valuable, in order for this to work. Um, I think this is very self-explanatory, but maybe you have some thoughts about this. If not, then I will continue to the next one, which is also something that I read in many other books is about painting the great future. We just need to, by our words or by our writing, create a vision what the user will accomplish by using our products or by staying with us. So they need to know what will happen if they will stay with us. They need to have this vision, so they will be motivated to for example, buy our products. And on the vice versa, we can also paint the vision what will happen if they won't stay with us, if they won't select our products, what terrible will happen or what bad things will happen if we don't do this. If we don't do this. So this is also like a marketing way of engaging the audience and moving them up in the ladder. Something that I need to learn because I also don't think I consciously utilize it right now to use this vocabulary to talk in a way that generate vision. Mm, And that's about this point. Do you have uh, an example that could you, maybe worked for you, for example, or you think you are good at this? Mm,
Well, I don't think I'm good at this, so I cannot give an example.
mm, Paint the future, yeah, and, being fit. So if you are like going with some kind of fitness programs, then at the end you will be fit. You will be very healthy, and if you don't do it, then you will have a disease, you will be tired, etc.
Oh, okay, then maybe rescuing the critical thinking from AI could be something like that. But then you first need to paint the risk
Mhm,
so that it is fully acknowledged,
mhm, mhm,
and then paint the solution with this first step not being overdone so that they don't want to touch AI anymore.
mhm, mhm. Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, doing this exercise of talking in this way that tells about the current state and what will happen if we don't, as an audience, make some actions and what will happen, what will bad and terrible happen, and what good will happen if we will do it. I also heard in other sources that we can, there are like three types of situation we need to handle when we are painting the future. So we can talk to our lower self, average self, and higher self. So there are like three types of emotional state we can be at any given moment, and sometimes we need to talk to our lower self when we are feeling down. So if the audience or the person in the audience is feeling down, then we need to talk in a different language to those person than if the person is in this average emotional state, like in a daily state. And also there needs to be another language where we are talking with the person that is in the higher state, that is, for example, excited about something or is have a lot of positive thinking. So mixing those type of languages for all of those three categories can increase the chance that the talk that we are delivering will be more efficient and provide us more effects. Anybody else wants to jump in? Or I will jump into the last thing that Patrick Flynn recommends as a initial steps for constructing the casual audience to active audience. I call it here always respond. In the chapter name was different, if I remember correctly. Always respond is just the fact what we should do when somebody is writing to us or they are writing as a comment, the comment under our post or writing directly to us. So we should always respond to them. We should always engage with those audience that was active enough to write something to us, because if we won't do it, they will be demotivated and there is a high chance that they will leave us. They won't be contributing as much. So in the beginning, it's very important to always respond, to always engage with the audience. I think we know from our experiences that if somebody responds to us, then we feel better. We feel that somebody take care of us. So mm, this is very important thing and something that we just should utilize as our strategy. In this case, I think I am quite good because typically I respond to people that are writing to me. I don't have any problems with that. Uh, so this is a little natural to me. So other things that we used previously, like using the words that audience uses, it's difficult to me. I always think about things differently. Sharing something about yourself is also something that I don't typically do. Painting the great future, very similar to this one because they are to some extent connected, but this one is easy for me. It's natural for me. Anybody else want to say something?
I'm afraid about this point because I think it won't be natural to me, and that's the sweet advantage of postponing having this social media. But yeah, I need to think about how to do that, because I think that maybe among all the points listed here, this one is the most powerful. So
It's the most straightforward to some extent because it's very easy. Like this one requires some thinking, responding. Uh, I mean, sometimes require thinking because it depends what that person is writing, but sometimes it's just thanking the other person that somebody wrote something is even enough. That that person will feel appreciated. Mm. Anybody else wants to comment on this? And I will go to next stage. So let me go to the next stage. So once we have active audience, we can level it up to connected audience. So active audience, somebody who subscribed us, somebody who follow us, somebody who checks from time to time what we are doing. Connected audience, people who are more engaged. They are writing something, they are buying something from us, etc. So there are several ways how we can make audience more engaged audience. First method is asking questions to people to increase their engagement. So just by asking people, like we write some post and at the end we are writing some question, what they think about something or what is their way of solving the problem, and this can drastically increase the probability that somebody will respond compared to not having this question at the end. So that's simple. Just having some kind of way that pushes people to respond to us, to do something. Um, Easy method, but in this book there were provided some examples that when they changed the strategy of writing posts without those questions to the strategy when they added this question at the end, it drastically increased the number of comments they received under post and increased the engagement. Because when somebody writes something, then immediately that person starts more engaged and more interested in the stuff we are doing. This is something that I need to spend more time because this is something easy to do. You just need to do it. Um, and from my personal experience, I also sometimes respond to those questions. Maybe not super frequently, so it's not like 100% guarantee that I will respond to what other person is doing, but at least it increases some probability of this. So yeah, anybody else wants to jump in to this part? No. Okay.
The asking questions or which part?
Yes, I am. Hello, Hedan. I am asking about asking questions to and create increase engagement. So maybe you have something in your mind that you can recall if somebody, some content creator were asking question and you responded, or maybe from your personal experience because you jump in the middle of the meeting, so you actually don't know what you are doing. You are creating some kind of product.
Yeah, thank you. I think, as you said, I jumped it, yeah, right now. So, but I believe I have read the topic. So,
Mhm.
I think it's very actually great way to do that because I myself
Mhm.
have commented, even though I'm not commenter,
Mhm.
for few content creators, and the reason was that they really asked a question, and not just to ask the question, but a relevant question to what they were talking about, or just
Mhm. Mhm.
a question that just draws you, that makes you reflect. And I
Yeah.
think it's a great way to also get people be part of whatever the person is doing.
Yes, yes. So I also what I like in this method is just easy to do. So you don't need to spend a lot of time on this. You need to do a lot of preparation. You just need to provide a question and that's all. And this simple change can make a difference compared to other methods that that I will mention later, like for example, organize meetings, events that require more time. There are certain ways that are easier, just they require less time. Somebody else want to say something about this topic, this point? No, okay. Very similar to the previous one is let audience decide. So we create some kind of pool or we are asking the question what you prefer. You prefer A or you prefer B? Uh, mm, this kind of question also increase engagement because people are selecting. So they selecting something in a poll or it creates discussion what choice was better. So, for example, I was when I was doing those back discussions, I sometimes created poll what next book should be discussed, and it increased the engagement. So people were voting and discussing. So I saw the power of doing this. I didn't do that very frequently, but this is clear that something like that works also from my perspective. So I am not very good commenter of other people what other people are doing, but when there is a poll, there is higher chance that I will select something or either comment something. So easy way to do. Have you do it personally, or you have some interesting example to provide for this point?
I can also add something there. Perhaps another way, which I think a lot of creators perhaps do, um, is looking at the comments. What people, for example, if one have talked about certain topic in their video, and then there are a lot of different people who commented, discussion going on the comment chat. Sometimes you can see
Mhm.
how do I say, a picture or something like, and in that what the audience are interested, you can take out of that if you scan what they have been discussing in the comments.
Mhm.
And that could also be something I believe one can actually let the audience decide, because what has been discussed in the comments, when the content creator talked about that, then they have heard us, right? So I think it's also a thing that one can do, even though I have never tried, but I'm hoping that I can do in the future.
Yes, to some extent, this relates to the first point we discussed. So, learning words audience uses. So, by reading what the audience is discussing, etc., we know what they are interested more. Um, yes. Anybody else have something to interesting or not interesting to tell about this? No, so let me go to the next one. The other way to make audience more engaged is by creating challenges, like something that people needs to be more engaged for a shorter period of time in order to accomplish something. One thing from my history that I like this kind of challenges, so I sometimes was more engaged because of that. I remember that during pandemic or something like that, during lockdown, I was going through the yoga with Adrian yoga challenge. So every day I was doing this yoga poses for 20, 30 minutes. And I was doing this, I was engaged because it was a challenge. So every day I need to do it for 1 month. So this is something that works for me. And I also like it because this is gamification. I'm working with gamification. A lot of things in this community relates to the gamification. So creating this kind of challenges is a great way to create engagement. Patrick Flynn, the author of the book, mentioned also smoothie challenge in this book that people that are following some smoothie creator, they need to create every day different smoothie for 30 days. And this kind of challenges are also very beneficial. They are probably more difficult to, there is more work required to do, but for sure this is very powerful method to increase engagement. Have you participated in this kind of challenges, or maybe you have idea how you could, what kind of challenge you could create to engage your audience if you have this audience?
I know that one creator of Scratch tutorials makes such challenges for children to create their games for a given topic. I wonder if maybe one day it would be a good idea for me too. I think that you need to be part of some community to take part in such challenges.
Sure.
Yeah. On the other hand, I think that I get disengaged when I feel that the challenge is not easy to do or like not possible to do. For instance, I was trying to take part in one challenge in which we're supposed to get rid of one word each day. And the problem was that sometimes I wasn't using this word any time this day, and for instance I use it the next day. So I think the challenge has to be constructed in a way that you actually can do this. So yoga poses were great. You might like not have the stamina to do this, but the challenge is clear. And if you have some challenges that depend on the external things, they might not be perfect.
Yes. Would be perfect. Anybody else who wants to jump in? One of the challenges that I created is the habit system. So this is building a system over 4 weeks or 30 days. So every day you need to construct system more and more. So this is in the form of the challenge, and I will be creating videos every day on YouTube. And this is like a way to gamify and make people more engaged. So I will see how it will work. But this is really in the form of the challenge. So that's about challenges, gamified way to engage audience. Another way is showing what happens behind the scenes. So showing the factory of creating something or anything that people, the audience, can see how some kind of product was created. In the book, there was example of Toy Story. I think it was Toy Story. So there was a movie how Toy Story was created, what they have to do, what challenges they have, and this made people who were watching this movie even more engaged and more like those Toy Story. Um, so showing this behind the scenes is also another powerful way to make audience more connected. So one of the way that I plan to do, I will see how it goes, is to create live streaming when I will be creating my content, just like live streaming on YouTube, and see if this provides some impact. I will see how it will be going. I like this idea because it's also quite a cheap thing because we expose something that we are already doing. So I like this cheapness of this method, that it doesn't require any additional work required to engage audience more. To some extent, I also have to say that I like more those items from this part than items from the initial part. So those initial items are more difficult for me than the later parts. This is also interesting thing that I noticed when I read the book. But I need to concentrate more on the basics, and the later parts will be easier for me. Do you recall in your life something that some author or some content creator where you that was using this strategy to create engagement? Nothing. Okay. So yes, so this is another method showing behind the scenes. There is also another straightforward, I mean, rather obvious way to make audience more engaged by organizing events or meetings. So having something, plan something, announce something, and people can join in. This could be online meetings, which is easier obviously to do, or this can be in-person or offline meetings, which is a little more complicated because there is a player around and it's more complicated. But obviously this even makes those connections more strong. So this is something that is also powerful. There were many examples in this book. He was talking about those Walking Dead's TV series meetings of fans, or Star Wars meetings fans, or Lego meetings fans. All of those things are very strong in order to engage audience more. So creating something like that is also a way to engage audience more. This is something I get used to, so I created many meetings, so I don't have problem with that. I do it. I just do it, yes. But maybe online meetings are more difficult for me. This is something still fresh for me. Do you create organized events or something like that? Or you can recall a situation when you were attending meeting some content creator or some product, or I don't know, some movie star, or anything like that? Some interesting story.
I think you've heard about one of those meetings that I could recall because this Alex Barszczewski and also Karolina Barszczewski's meeting. They are organizing several times a year usually, and some people highly value those for the opportunities that they give. Unfortunately, I didn't have the occasion to organize meeting regarding my things. I know it could be a good idea actually, but let's say not yet. I know Ryan Holiday would say in his book that that then sometimes it means never, but still I would say that this not yet in this case is rational.
Okay, okay. Those online meetings or so webinars. I mean, he don't mention webinars, but yes, this is something that is frequently mentioned in other sources. Mm. Yes, so Monica, organize thing. Anybody, anybody else? No. Okay. Another thing that the author is suggesting to do is to name the audience. So sometimes for people to feel part of something, there needs to be some name that they can attach, they can label to themselves that they are part of this community. So, for example, fans of Taylor Swift are called Swifties, and this name is something that was generated and is describe people who are fans of Taylor Swift. And having this label is very important. Sometimes this label accidentally appear, so as an author, you don't have to intentionally provide some mm, some name. It just happen naturally, but sometimes it doesn't happen. And if it doesn't happen, then it's our goal, our business to provide this name because it also increase the engagement of people. So the author called his audience, if I remember correctly, it was, I forgot. Let me remember this book. It was the team of
Tim Flynn.
Team Slim. Oh yeah, Team Slim.
Yeah.
Team Slim. Any interesting examples of namings of some audiences you have encountered?
Yeah, I actually wanted to say yours because the one you came up with, Social Skills Warsaw,
Mhm,
it caught my eye when I was in Warsaw initially.
mhm,
And yeah, the name of the meetup was very relevant. I think the fact that you had the word Warsaw in the name also really helped.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, that was actually the meeting name, not the audience name, because actually he advises to provide the name of for the audience, so name the audience
Mm.
to generate group, and I never internationally did something like that. Actually, in Reddit group, I created subreddit Gamifying Life, so I named them Live Gamifiers or something like that, but it never stick because I mean. Creating a community on Reddit is difficult, requires a lot of effort. So I will need to provide some name in the future. Maybe not right now. I need to more audience, but at some point I will. I should do it, provided it won't appear naturally.
And isn't it usually not natural? I mean, I think that it could work for singers and stuff like that, but I know one case in which it seems neutral for me. There is life hackers community and they call me hacker, but I never really identified with the name, and I wonder how wide applications of that rule could be, and if really everyone feels good. I think it could be a Starbucks problem that Starbucks does in Poland what they do in America, but for some of the people it's very off-putting, right? Because they do not like this straightforwardness.
This name of the group. But on the other hand, if you want to feel be participant of some group, then having a label helps you to identify with this group. Because if we don't have a name, it's more difficult to think that we are part of this group. If there is a name that exists for a group, then we can think that we are part of this group or not part of this group. But if there is no name, then actually we don't even have this thinking that we can belong this group because in our mind there is no group that exists.
I understand your point of view. However, I just not organically feel it.
Mhm. Okay, okay.
I mean, there is this app called Time Left, right? Where it connects five strangers on a dinner every Wednesday.
Mhm.
And at one point, one of them,
I think we lost your audio. Yeah, we lost your audio, I guess.
time
Okay.
lefters.
Time left is okay. Time leftist, yes. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's also sometimes it's easy to provide some name for the audience. Sometimes I think it requires more creativity. Depends what we are doing. Mm, I mean, for this community, I still don't know because I was using the gamification names, but I think this a little too restrictive, so I now broaden the scope, and I don't know how to call it. I will be thinking in the future about this. If nobody else have anything to comment about this point, then let me go to the next one, giving audience an opportunity to meet each other. So I was talking about organizing event in meetings. So this is important not only because the content creator or the leader is meeting with the audience, but it's also important because the audience can meet with each other, and this also forms a group. This also forms a group. So those meetings are important, or maybe some kind of way in forum or something like that to create some kind of rules that increase the chance that the people will be integrating with each other, they will be collaborating with each other or communicating with each other. It's rather straightforward that this is something that increase engagement of people because they feel a part of the group and people want to feel that they belong to some group. So that's also important way to increase engagement. Sometimes yes. So finding friends through some community is also a great way to make sure that people will stay in this community. Will stay in this community. Mm. So for me, this is quite tricky. So this is not that easy. This needs to be properly designed. So in the past, I was discussing another book, The Art of Gathering. This book was about how to create meetings where people will be connected with each other more. So the meetings needs to be designed to make this happen. If the meeting won't be designed, then people can be strangers to each other after the meeting because the setup of the meeting was incorrect. So for me, this point is more difficult to achieve. So it's just more challenging to create something like that. But sometimes it can happen naturally if the topic is, I mean, the problem we are solving or something like that is specific. Specific, then this can happen naturally. But if not, then some additional actions work is necessary. Mm, I think that's what I wanted to tell about this. Maybe you have some examples of examples where this community creation was handled very well. So there was some leader and he created a community that was very engaged with each other. I was participating in something that was about doing debates, sport debates in the past, and the way how it was constructed, it creates a lot of connections with people who are participating. So it was a good way to create a community. So that was a good example how this part was accomplished by the person Radek. Mm, So he did it, yes. He made it happen. Somebody else have some examples? No. Yes.
Maybe one example. During my studies, there was an art group in which there were certain leaders,
Mhm.
but there was also some recurring meeting that was hosted by many people that was concentrated on creating the drawings and
Mhm.
training the sketching.
Mhm.
And participants of this particular group were meeting in many different contexts, even though even apart from this main, let's say, grid. Yeah. So I think that this kind of like I agree with you that this is hard. It requires probably. I think what made it work well with debates was that debates required meeting or having contact without the governance of Radek.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that
Yes.
fostered further examples that could be also initiated. And people also needed to initiate somehow, like where we meet, how we discuss. And I think it is similar. I think to build this, you require to give the groups some autonomy. And I think that in many cases that wouldn't happen in the groups with a very, very strong leader, which are not big enough. Like, yeah, I think that's also important.
So yeah, this is interesting point how those debates generate this engagement between different people. So in this case, it was more natural because of the structure of those debates. Sometimes it's more, it's just there is no such easiness, but I still think always this can be designed in some way, in some clever way, to creative way to enforce naturally people to connect with each other, to talk with each other. S- Very interesting stuff. I need to think about this. How to maybe there is some kind of creative way how I could utilize this. Right now I don't see, but maybe it's possible. Maybe it's possible. Anybody else? Or I go to the last one. So the last one, let audience shine. Let audience shine. So if somebody is writing, somebody from audience, you as a creator, you can put more emphasis what other people are doing, and those people will feel more inflated. Their ego will be inflated because other people, because they will feel appreciated for exposing this by the creator. So the example is, for example, in the streams, people can buy write some text on the screen of the streamer and write some quotes or whatever they want to post, and this is a way for those audience to shine, so they can provide some message to, and all people in the stream can see it. So this is a way for the person that is sending this text to shine and to be more engaged in the future. Also in school, it's designed in this way that there is a leaderboard, but leaderboard is in communities that are paid, let's say synthesizer, for example. So there is a leaderboard, and people who are super engaged then have a lot of points. So people are fighting with each other. So this is also a way to make people more engaged because they want to be on the top of the leaderboard. So this is also another way to use gamification to achieve this, but also there are other ways. Mm,
Can I ask you a question there?
yes. Mhm.
The thing that you showed just now, what were you using to do that? Yeah, where was this? Is it YouTube or is it in
You mean
in
this page exactly? Yes.
yes, this page, and how, yeah, and what were you
School.
using when you
School is, you can think about school as a Udemy with emphasis on the community. So it's kind of like a forum. You can see
Mm.
topics, and
Ah.
there is a classroom with courses, and there is this online meetings, etc. Or members, so they can chat with each other. I mean, actually, not here, but in the map, when you can see who is living close to you. I don't know, I live in Poland, so there are some people that are living in Poland quite a lot. So you can more engage with them. So this is also another way to create engagement. Uh, Generally, because school is online courses with a lot of emphasis on the community, so their construction of this and features that the school provides are done in order to increase this engagement. So all of those gamification, like here, or these maps, all of this is created to make people be more engaged and write more, and users be more engaged in writing. So this platform helps content creators to make their audience be more engaged because of the features that they are providing.
Thank you. I get it.
Does some of you have another example of how to let audience shine? Because also mentioning people directly in the calls, some people at the end of videos on YouTube thank their patrons, so they are listing people who paid money to them in Patreon or other platforms. So this is also a way to let audience shine, or Q&As when people are asking questions and the name of the person that is asking a question is listed. That's also a way to make them shine. So there are many ways to do it. Mhm. I also need to think about this, how to utilize this more. For now, I am like restricting myself to responding to other people, which is also to some extent making them a little shine. I mean, to some extent, obviously. And liking their posts and comments, that's also something that can work. So that's about the converting active audience to connected audience, so more engaged level of audience, but we have even higher level, converting connected audience to super fans, so people who are very, very engaged, buying everything, they are all in what we are doing. And he provided four ways how to increase even more those the engagement of the audience. One way is to remember and use specific knowledge about your specific fans. So we just need to treat those people much more personally. We need to know them. We need to know what their exact needs are and address them directly. So we can, for example, write the message that we remember exactly what their problem specific was, and this is a way to even increase engagement from that person because it's very personal right now. I will jump to the second one because it's very similar. He also proposes to send video messages to your fans. So this is something that not many people are utilizing. So this is just instead of writing to your fans, you can write in a direct message with the video message. So you just say something to them in a video format, telling something to them, and this have huge impact because it's rarely used. So he was using the example of writing emails in the past, in the 90s. So in 90s, writing emails to somebody, to some person, somebody from the audience had a huge impact because it was so rare. Right now, obviously, writing an email to somebody is nothing very specific, so it doesn't work. But sending video message to people have a strong impact, have a strongest impact. And because of that, it's a very good method. Uh, I know this is true. It's for sure something that I would find a little uncomfortable to record myself and sending the video to them. But I need to cross my comfort zone and start doing this because this is very efficient. Uh, Personally, not many people, from my experience, send video messages to me. I don't know about you, so this is not something very frequent, and this is what makes a difference. And if you have something to comment about those 2 points, I merged them into one because for me they are very very similar. So they are like the highest levels of engagement. Mm.
I imagine this video could work in my case, but yeah, from all the tactics mentioned here, this one I haven't experienced in my life. So maybe that's also what would make it special, but that's also what makes it quite hard to implement, right? Because that's time consuming more than other forms.
Uh, yes, I mean, yes, they are some, I mean, video messages, you instead of writing a message, you can just record yourself, and this makes a difference. So it's maybe a little less comfortable, but maybe to some extent it's even easier, faster to do, because it's easier to tell something than to write something sometimes. Yeah.
I don't think that this video message is necessarily so difficult. There is this function of
There is this function. I don't know if you are talking to me right now, or your microphone sometimes.
but
Okay.
then that would mean that you would already have to be engaging with your fans on WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp or on Instagram, yes. So on some platforms you can have this direct communication with people. The author of this book, directly mentioned obviously the Instagram. So sending video
Hmm.
messages through Instagram. Because obviously not in all platforms we can do it. We can't do it, for example, on YouTube. So we can't send directly to people video messages because this platform doesn't support one-on-one communication with each other. But in cases when this is possible, so Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, and this TikTok, this is possible. So in majority of platforms, it is possible. Just I think YouTube is one of those cases when it's not possible. For example, in this platform, this is for sure not possible. To send video messages, but if it is possible, then we can use it to our benefit because it has a huge impact. People just think we like them more because we send them video message instead of text message. This is something special. I mean, something special. And using knowledge about specific funds, he provided example when he was a waiter. And he remembered that one person was ordering something and he always wanted to have tea, if I remember, with 3 slices of lemon. And those 3 slices of lemon was something that this waiter, when he was a waiter, always provided to this customer. And it makes this customer happy and he paid big tips, big tips. Somebody else want to jump in to these 2 points? Or let me go to the last 2 points. Another way to make people much more engaged is to just ask specific fans to help you with something. So let's say we are organizing event and we can ask some people from some selected engaged fans to help with organizing this event. Or if we are talking about online community, we can ask some person that is engaged to be moderator or doing some kind of job. In the beginning, it can be a free job, but over time, it can be converted into the paid job. So this is also something that increase the engagement. This is, I think, rather obvious that mm, that this works. That this works. I was participating in Toastmasters for many years, and sometimes I was having some functions, so I was asked to participate regularly to be the leader. I mean, to have some function in this club for half of the year, and because of that, I was much more engaged, and I was going to every meeting because of that. Does any of you have some examples, interesting things, where you were asked to do something as a part of community, and this made you more engaged?
Definitely. It's just like you mentioned, it was also for me the Toastmasters.
Mhm,
I was also officer for a quite time of period, and as you said, you join the meeting more often than what you would do when you are just a member and don't have any officer role. So yeah, it's also a way, but I don't know how this would actually work when it comes to content creating, as I don't know people the person personally. So I don't know. For me, it will be a difficult to actually ask help from those specific fans. But I have seen an example definitely. For example, those K-pop fans, they get to organize and help out an event, and that makes them more interested for the whole thing. So they are the one that are doing the flyers, for example. They are the one that are calling people, getting the snacks and all of that. And this could definitely make the group like feel more togetherness. So that's also a way to utilize, I guess. But for content creator, I don't know how that could be. Have you ever done like you have asked?
Not for this one, but for the back discussion, because I was also creating many local meetup events. I also ask people to be the leaders in the back discussion. So sometimes other people were the leaders, and they were discussing their own books, and this was a way to make those people engaged more. So that's the example where when I use this particular method. So I just ask people who were participating in those meetings to select the book they read, they find valuable, and they led the meeting instead of me. So that's one example.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's a psychological thing, I guess. Everyone laughs when being asked for to give a hand. We all do, I guess. And also when they say in the psychology, I sometimes I believe it's a bit manipulating, but they say always when you want to get people to know, or perhaps, which I don't like, to like them to like you, you can ask help. But I believe if you need help, that's when you should ask, not just to get person on your side. But I get the context in the content creation world. It's a bit different, I guess.
Yes, because from one way it creates this engagement, but by the behavior of this fan from the past, we know that this person would be willing to do it. And actually, this is very often it's a some kind of even career movement, because if the content creator is climbing, like having more engagement, more audience, etc., then the audience that is more engaged can also have benefits of helping helping the content creator. And in this book, Pat Flynn also mentioned that he mentioned one person that was very engaged. He asked him to do moderation, etc. And at some point, he hired him. So that's uh, it's also a good way to find people who are good for a job. So this is the greatest way to find people who are good for a particular job is to select them from fans. Another example was about Doctor Who. I remember right now. So Doctor Who is a science fiction TV series that is started in 60s and it's still continuing, I think. And those main protagonists, the main character actors change obviously over time, just like in James Bond. And one of recent actors was a huge fan of Doctor Who when he was a child. So because of that, he was a great person to be the actor, the main actor of this TV series, because he know everything about this TV series. So he could be a better actor.
Lovely, lovely one. It's win-win, definitely.
Yeah. Does anybody else wants to say something about this? Or let me tell about the last one. So the last one is just creating some platinum access or VIP access to people who are most engaged. So people like status, people like to feel better. They feel better when they have access to something that other people don't have. So creating this platinum access to super engaged audience is a way also to make this super highly engaged audience even more engaged. So not only they will be paying you more because to have access to this platinum access, but they will be also more engaged. So this is also something that in both way provide value because we can earn more, but also have more engaged audience by the same move. So sometimes paradoxically, allowing people to pay more makes those people more engaged. More engaged. So providing a specific offer, platinum offer, is something that we should also consider when we have audience. Obviously, I have never did this. It's just still too early. This is like the later stage to have something like that. Mm. But this platinum access needs to be designed properly. For sure, it cannot be done in a way that can make normal users feel that they lost value because this platinum access was provided. So this platinum access needs to be something more, more to some people, but it shouldn't remove value from the basic offer. This is the mistake that should never be applied. In the book, I think it was mentioned great example of the platinum access. It was about Star Wars, I think, or about the Lego. Let me recall myself. Mm, check. Oh. Jedi Master, Star Wars events. There was a special VIP access to some people, and it was a very great way to provide to give those access, like having access to some places 30 minutes earlier than everybody else, giving more, having a special dinner, etc. So this kind of stuff. Maybe special access to content creator, these things. Have you bought something platinum or have VIP access to anything in the past? No, okay. So I think, yes, we are over time. So let me quickly summarize this meeting and finish this one. So I described different levels of the audience and many ways how this audience can be leveled up to the higher levels. And those higher levels of fans, that is the highest level of super fans, are very beneficial to our business or the movement, if this is some kind of movement, because they can help us. They pay us more money, they support us, they defend us from haters, and they are very, very engaged. And there are many methods how we can construct it. Some of them are easier for one people, other are easier for another people. I personally found interesting that these parts are easier for me and these parts are more difficult for me. So I need to work on those parts, those initial parts more, because this is the problem that I currently have. But also working on other methods would be beneficial for me too. So that's something I got from reading this book and something that I will improve over time. What will you remember from this meeting? What one thing you think will be the most beneficial for you? Do you want to say something, Hedan, Z, or Pavel?
Not really.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. Mm,
Yeah, I think it's really great that this like this book I didn't know this about this book. So for me the great thing and that the main takeaway would definitely
mhm,
be knowing the book that I can always read it and also take notes from myself.
mhm.
But I think you had great actually presentation and
Makes
good
sense.
points. There's a lot of different ways that one can give it try and see what works best for them. So that this is good.